A codex of shadows, its vellum pages whispering a language lost to time, or perhaps never known to it. Elegant alien script flows across its leaves, a silent river of indecipherable meaning, mocking our every attempt at understanding. Illustrated within, a phantasmagoria, plants that bloom in no earthly garden, their forms bizarre, their properties a chilling secret. Celestial charts map unknown firmaments, their constellations alien, their zodiacs drawn from dreams or nightmares. This is the Voynich Manuscript. For centuries, it has been a siren's call to cryptographers, linguists, and seekers of the arcane, a lock without a key, a voice without a tongue. Is it the lost wisdom of a forgotten civilization, the coded diary of an alchemist, or the most elaborate, most beautiful deception ever conceived? Our modern odyssey into this textual labyrinth begins in 1912. Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish-American antiquarian book dealer, a man whose life was a tapestry of revolution and rare finds, acquired the manuscript. It was unearthed from a dusty chest in the Villa Mondragon, a Jesuit college near Rome, a place itself steeped in history. Voynich, a connoisseur of the cryptic, was instantly ensnared. Before him lay roughly 240 vellum pages, though gaps suggested others were lost to time, each alive with an elegant, flowing script unlike any known human alphabet. This unreadable narrative was interwoven with hundreds of colorful, often bizarre, and deeply perplexing illustrations. A tantalizing clue to its past was discovered tucked within its leaves, a letter penned in 1665 or 66 by Johannes Marcus Marci, a prominent Bohemian physician and rector of Charles University in Prague. It was addressed to Athanasius Kircher, a Jesuit scholar in Rome, a polymath famed for his attempts to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs. Marci's letter spoke of the manuscript's rumored history, suggesting it had once been acquired for the princely sum of 600 gold ducats by Holy Roman Emperor Rudolf II. Rudolf, ruling from his mystical court in Prague, was a renowned patron of alchemists, astrologers, and all who delved into the occult and the esoteric arts. The letter further ignited the flames of speculation by mentioning a persistent belief that the manuscript might be the authentic work of the legendary 13th century English friar, philosopher, and scientist Roger Bacon, Dr. Mirabilis, a figure himself wreathed in legends of arcane knowledge, secret codes, and supposed magical powers. However, the unyielding gaze of modern science has pierced one veil of this mystery. Radiocarbon dating, performed in 2009 on carefully selected samples of the manuscript's animal skin vellum, placed its creation firmly, and rather precisely, in the early 15th century, most likely between the years 1404 and 1438. This scientific anchor in time makes direct authorship by the 13th century Roger Bacon an impossibility. It also significantly complicates, though doesn't entirely rule out, its supposed ownership by the late 16th century Rudolf II, suggesting a longer, more convoluted, and unrecorded history before it might have reached his illustrious, if eccentric, hands. The script itself, often dubbed Voynichese, is a marvel of enigmatic calligraphy. It comprises around 170,000 meticulously drawn glyphs, apparently forming an alphabet of perhaps 20-30 distinct, recurring characters. Some bear a fleeting, tantalizing resemblance to familiar Latin letters or Roman numerals. Others are entirely unique, their curves and flourishes almost alien in their construction, defying easy classification. The text flows with an unnerving smoothness across the pages, meticulously organized into paragraphs and distinct words separated by spaces, as if penned by a scribe utterly fluent in this unknown, silent tongue. Statistical analysis, applying complex linguistic principles like Zipf's law, reveals that it follows certain patterns consistent with genuine, natural languages. Some characters appear with telltale frequency, Some tend to cluster at the beginnings or ends of these enigmatic words. Yet, despite decades upon decades of relentless intellectual assault by some of the world's most brilliant minds, including the famed American codebreakers William and Elizabeth Friedman, who wrestled with the ciphers of Axis powers in World War II, no one has definitively, verifiably deciphered a single word. The manuscript guards its secrets with an almost sentient, defiant tenacity. The illustrations are just as baffling, a phantasmagoria of the peculiar, a gallery of the grotesque and the graceful. They are generally divided by scholars into roughly 6 thematic sections, each with its own distinct, yet equally bizarre and unearthly, character. They offer tantalizing visual clues that often spiral into deeper labyrinths of questions, rather than pathways to clear answers. The largest section, dominating nearly half the manuscript, is the herbal section, an unearthly garden filled with meticulously rendered drawings of plants. But these are no ordinary botanicals one might find catalogued in a terrestrial herbarium. The vast majority cannot be convincingly matched to any known species on Earth. They feature fantastical, often grotesquely oversized roots, impossible leaf structures that defy botanical logic, and flowers of an alien, almost dreamlike, and sometimes unsettling, beauty. Are these depictions of flora long extinct, vanished from the earth before the dawn of modern botany could catalog their wonders? Are they the fevered products of a uniquely vivid imagination, a private botanical fantasy world meticulously documented? Or perhaps, as some more daring researchers suggest, are they symbolic representations of alchemical processes, where plant forms hide deeper meanings, or even sketches of plants from another world, another dimension, brought back by an unknown traveler or mystic? Then there is the astronomical or astrological section, a celestial theater of the unknown. Here, we find intricate circular diagrams, often featuring suns depicted with human-like, impassive faces, moons in various enigmatic phases, and dense clusters of stars forming patterns that elude recognition. Some patterns bear a superficial, almost teasing resemblance to known zodiacal constellations, but many are entirely unfamiliar, their celestial arrangements defying the established cosmologies of the 15th century. Are these star charts of a sky long forgotten, perhaps as observed from a different latitude or even a different point in Earth's precessional wobble? Or could they be symbolic maps of the microcosm and macrocosm, a prevalent theme in medieval and Renaissance esoteric thought, attempting to link the human body and its humors to the grand celestial spheres and their influences? The biological or balneological section is perhaps the most visually bizarre and has generated the most intense and sometimes lurid speculation. It depicts numerous small, usually unclothed, female figures, their forms highly stylized, almost doll-like, their faces often blank, rudimentary, or strangely serene, bathing or frolicking in pools or ornate tubs. These vessels are interconnected by an elaborate, almost organic-looking, and frankly baffling network of pipes, conduits, and what appear to be bodily organs. The liquid they immerse themselves in is often colored a vibrant, unnatural green or murky blue. What do these strange, almost ritualistic scenes represent? Are they depictions of alchemical processes involving the prima materia or the feminine principle? Obscure cleansing rituals from a forgotten cult? Or perhaps a bizarre, coded system of medicine, hydrotherapy, or even a guide to midwifery or women's health, its true meaning veiled beyond our recognition? The cosmological section, distinct from the earlier astronomical charts, contains more enigmatic circular diagrams. These are often incredibly elaborate and abstract, defying any easy categorization or comparison to known scientific or mystical traditions. Some feature intricate radial patterns, complex petal-like shapes folding in on themselves, or what appear to be fantastical islands, miniature castles, or walled cities connected by labyrinthine causeways or tubes. These are often referred to by researchers as rosettes, their purpose utterly unknown. Their meaning is entirely speculative, a canvas for projection. Are they abstract maps of unknown terrestrial lands, perhaps legendary realms like Atlantis or Shambhala? Or are they charts of spiritual dimensions, psychic landscapes, or even highly stylized representations of cellular structures, botanical cross-sections, or other microscopic phenomena concepts seemingly far ahead of their purported 15th century origin? Next is the pharmaceutical section, a curious apothecary's collection. This part displays arrays of what appear to be medicinal plant parts, gnarled roots, desiccated leaves, strange seeds, and colorful powders often shown isolated or in carefully arranged fragments. These are depicted alongside ornate jars, vials, and containers reminiscent of alchemical or apothecary vessels from a bygone, more mystical era of medicine. Finally, a section often called recipes, or sometimes due to the marginal markers, stars, consists almost entirely of dense, continuous Voynichese text. This is broken into many short paragraphs, each typically marked with a star-like or flower-like bullet point or gallows character in the left margin. This section lacks significant illustrations, its unyielding script presenting a stark wall of text, adding another profound layer to its already formidable inscrutability. So, what is this strange, unyielding book? This sphinx of parchment and ink? The theories attempting to explain its existence are as numerous, varied, and often as bizarre and labyrinthine as its own enigmatic illustrations. Is it an enciphered text, a complex cryptogram hiding a secret message in a known language, perhaps Latin, German, Italian, a lost Romance dialect, or even Hebrew using a sophisticated substitution, transposition, or polyalphabetic cipher, or a combination thereof? Many brilliant cryptographers, including the legendary American codebreaker, William Friedman, and his equally gifted wife, Elizabeth Smith Friedman, who famously tackled the complex ciphers of Axis powers during World War II, have dedicated immense intellectual firepower to this approach. Yet, Voynich has stubbornly, almost mockingly, resisted all attempts at conventional decryption. Its statistical properties, like letter frequency, word length distributions, and entropy, don't perfectly match any simple cipher of a known European language. If it's a cipher, it's one of extraordinary, perhaps unprecedented, sophistication for its 15th century origin. Could it then be an unknown natural language, a tongue that once flourished in some isolated community, perhaps in Central Europe or Northern Italy, and then died out without leaving other discernible written traces? Or, more intriguingly, might it be an artificial or constructed language, meticulously created by an individual or a small group for a specific, perhaps secret, purpose, much like Hildegard von Bingen's lingua ignota in the 12th century, or the later philosophical languages designed by scholars seeking a universal tongue? This theory has its staunch proponents, as the word structure, the patterns of letter repetition, and the overall entropy of Voynich share some intriguing, statistically significant characteristics with real spoken languages. But if so, what language from what lost culture, what forgotten people, and why has no other definitive trace of it or its speakers ever been unearthed from the sands of time? Then there is the ever-present, and for some, the most compelling and perhaps most cynical theory, that of an elaborate, meticulously crafted hoax. Could the entire manuscript, with its beautiful script and fantastical drawings, be a meaningless, albeit artistically impressive, fabrication, cleverly designed by some skilled forger in the early 15th century, or perhaps even later by an unscrupulous dealer like Wilfrid Voynich himself or an associate, to deceive wealthy, unsuspecting collectors or gullible scholars with a taste for the exotic and the arcane? The sheer complexity of the script, its apparent internal consistency in terms of character formation and word structure, and the naturalistic, unhesitating flow of the text across hundreds of pages make a simple, random gibberish hoax unlikely. If it is indeed a forgery, it is one of breathtaking skill, patience, and profound dedication. The time and intellectual effort required to create such a convincing illusion of a lost language and its associated body of knowledge would have been truly immense, perhaps even exceeding the effort of creating a genuine coded work. Some have even ventured into more esoteric explanations, perhaps glossolalia, the phenomenon of speaking in tongues, where the author, in a state of religious or mystical ecstasy, might have phonetically transcribed what they believed to be divinely inspired, but ultimately non-linguistic utterances. Or could it be a highly personalized, idiosyncratic shorthand system for a known language, its unique key now irrevocably lost to the annals of time, a secret language for a secret society? In recent years, the formidable power of artificial intelligence and machine learning has been brought to bear on the enigmatic Voynich Manuscript. Computers capable of processing and analyzing vast datasets of text at speeds unimaginable to human researchers have been tasked with identifying patterns, statistical anomalies, or hidden linguistic structures that might finally betray its long-held secrets. Some AI studies have indeed yielded intriguing, if tentative, suggestions, potential linguistic origins in lost Romance dialects, or even forms of Hebrew, Arabic, or Turkic languages, identified through complex analyses of word patterns or character distributions. However, these findings are often highly debated within the academic and cryptographic communities, currently lacking widespread acceptance, or the kind of definitive proof that would silence the skeptics. The manuscript continues to resist easy digital decryption, just as it so thoroughly defied the sharpest analog minds of generations past. The purpose of the Voynich Manuscript is as fiercely debated, as shrouded in conjecture, as its elusive language. Was it an alchemist's secret grimoire, a coded repository of forbidden knowledge, filled with cryptic recipes for transmuting base metals into gold, brewing elixirs of immortality, or even conjuring the legendary philosopher's stone? The strange, otherworldly plants and the bizarre, ritualistic bathing scenes could certainly be interpreted as hinting at such esoteric alchemical practices. Or was it an elaborate pharmacopoeia, a comprehensive herbal detailing exotic or perhaps even entirely imaginary medicinal plants, their occult virtues, their specific properties, and their complex preparations? A unique medical text intended for a specific, perhaps secretive, community, an isolated monastic order, or even a single, highly knowledgeable practitioner working far outside the mainstream medical traditions of the 15th century. Could it be an astrological or cosmological treatise from a forgotten school of esoteric thought, a heretical attempt to map the heavens or understand humanity's place within a unique, perhaps forbidden, worldview, one that diverged sharply from the accepted doctrines of the Church or contemporary science? The intricate circular diagrams and strange celestial motifs are certainly suggestive of profound and potentially dangerous cosmic inquiry. Ultimately, the Voynich Manuscript remains a profound enigma precisely because it so utterly resists categorization. It borrows the visual language, the familiar forms, from known historical genres, herbals, astronomical charts, anatomical drawings, but then twists and subverts them into something uniquely, stubbornly impenetrable, a reflection of a mind, or perhaps a collective of minds, operating on a different plane of understanding, a different reality. Its allure lies in this very resistance to our understanding, this intellectual defiance. It is a mirror reflecting our own innate desire for meaning, our deep fascination with the unknown, and the undeniable thrill of a puzzle that has endured for 6 centuries, inviting each new generation to gaze into its cryptic depths and try their hand at unlocking its silent ancient secrets. The Voynich Manuscript sits silently in Yale University's Voynich Rare Book and Manuscript Library, its pages digitized for all the world to see, Yet its core message remains as elusive and tantalizing as ever, a testament to the limits of our knowledge and the enduring power of a well-kept, ancient secret. What do you believe the Voynich Manuscript truly is? A lost language, a complex code, an alchemical guide, or something else entirely, something beyond our current comprehension? Share your theories in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's most perplexing artifacts. If you're captivated by the unknown, subscribe for more explorations of enduring mysteries. Until next time, keep questioning, keep wondering.